Hello, darlings. You find me in my PJs again. I'm on complete rest at the moment because my body's like giving up, which is absolutely fine. As always, I keep it real. So I haven't even brushed my hair or cleaned my teeth today. But I needed to share this because you may have just seen my short where I was doing a healing session with Myla on the 528 hertz frequency. I've done this with all my babies. It just brings them into this beautiful state of tranquility and balance and peace. You don't even have to be ill. It's just giving them that time for them to sit in their soul energy. You know, just sit and relax. Now she's all full of energy now. She's had a lovely time. She was zoned out for ages afterwards. But during the time that I invoked Ariel and Raphael, Ariel started to speak to me, and she's still here now. My ear is buzzing, a very high frequency, which shows me her presence is still here. My divine chakra and my third eye are buzzing. My hair feels like it's being rinsed in lemonade at the moment, my whole scalp. And these are all signs that they are still with you and communicating with you. Because of their high frequency, because I'm not the highest energy that I could be, I'm a bit headachy as well, but that's fine. I'm used to that. But as always, I have this drive to share with you everything that's being said to me. So I was going to start writing it, but my hand hurts too much. So then I was going to do a voice memo. I thought, no, share it with the tribe, what she's telling me. She's having a blue smarty moment now. I used to call it blue smarty moments. She's having a bit of a zoomy thing going on. So I'm going to start repeating what Ariel first said to me, if I can remember it all. I know she will. Every time I close my eyes, it's all pink. I love it. Oh my God, I love the angels. I'm going to share with you what she said. So as I was healing Myla, just bringing her this beautiful peace and energy, she said, this is why you've had a very strong elemental part of the fractal of your soul for this incarnation. So I said, hello. I didn't say hello. I just said hello to Myla. And I said, okay, what does that mean? She said, you needed your earth angel energy to be with you for the trials that you were going to go through on this incarnation. You're going to have to bear with me because my wording, people with ME, chronic fatigue, chronic illness, know exactly what I'm going through at the moment, but I don't care. I'm going to get it out there as long as you can bear with me. So she said, you literally needed animal energy with you because of what you signed up for with your soul contract. Please, with respect, could I just hang on a minute and I'll repeat everything you're saying in a minute. So I said, okay. So when I look back, when I had, I found Jasper, or we found Jasper, had him rescued, and he helped me through a lot of my kind of transitional phase of changing relationships, being on my own when I was a lot younger, and he was such strength and gave me drive and force. Then Mina was there for me when I got retired from the police service and went downhill badly, and then started my spiritual path. She was my rock, my absolute rock. And then Teddy and Mia turned up, and I had my road accident and lost everything, as you know, and homeless, and they were with me the whole time, and they just kept me going. They stopped me from basically taking myself over. And this is no exception. Myla, as you know, Kelly, or if you don't know, if you've not watched me before, Kelly basically was told in her head that she needed to give her to me because she heard Nicky Alan in her head, random. And the night before, Darren had gone to Sharon, you know, our Sharon and Karen from the team, and said, tell Nick I'm sending her a dog. Following day, Kelly reaches out because she's had life changes and it's absolutely ripped her heart to pieces. But she knew she was doing the right thing on asking if I would like Myla. And I have to say, after 11 months of grief, it's obviously now 13 months, but after 11 months of grief, I had no sleep. I was inconsolable. I had permanent insomnia. And the first night that Myla arrived, she settled in. She knew my soul. She knew what she was here for. There was no anxiety, no worry that she was in a different house. She literally laid on my lap like she's doing now within seconds. And then that night I slept with absolute peace, and I had a full night's sleep, and it was incredible. They'd put me on medication to try and help me sleep, and the anxiety. I've been a mess for a very long time because of Darren passing. And she's brought me peace, company, tranquility, love, and motivation to get up and get out. And so that's why she didn't show any anxiety. Did you, baby? Any anxiety of changing lives. It was like she saw me and went, yep, I know why I'm here. I'm part of it. And I've got a feeling that there's a fractal element that's entered into Myla, which is Mia. Because if you're one of my older tribe members, you would have known Mia. And her mannerisms, her personality, she's so like her and even looks like her, doesn't she? And it's just incredible. Yes, I'm talking about you, madam. And so I said, what do you mean on the elemental part? She goes, well, elementals obviously have a very strong connection to the animal kingdom, to the plant kingdom. And this is where it gets interesting, right? And so she said, and so we needed you to feel and know that energy, resonate with it, benefit from it, heal with it, communicate with animals and know what they're bringing you. And last night I made the most, oh God, it was the biggest mistake because I'm getting bored because I know that I've got to stop until my body's ready to start going again, right? And I bloody watched Bridget Jones, the new film. I thought, oh, that'll be a little cheer up. Oh, shut the front door. Cheer up? I don't bloody think so. It's about Darcy. Oh, I don't want it. This is a spoiler, so fast forward this bit. I'll put my hand down when I stop talking about it. But Darcy's dead, and it's her like going through grief and a widow and all that shit, right? So I'm like, totally triggered me. I started crying, and Myla was on me like a shot, licking my tears, and it was just incredible. And so I know that I've got a massive affinity to elementals. I have fairies everywhere. I'm looking at 3 now. I can completely connect with nature and the land. Sea is the most important one because of my Lemurian and Atlantis previous existences. And so land, nature, animals is just my absolute passion in life and reason for being. And so I thought, okay. And so she said, we birthed soul groups into you at the beginning. I've just done a presentation at GSIC, which I will share some of it with you at some point, where I talk about the beginning of time, right? And at the beginning of time, there was the human form, which they refer to as the Adam and the Eve. It's a very close representation of humans as we are today. You know, that it's not Neanderthal or any kind of, you know, Homo sapien image. It literally looks like how we look today. They were more browner than us, because they were in a sunny environment. Weird, but it's true. Anyway, I can go into the Kundalini line and all the rest of it, but basically, to keep it simple, when these humans, the Adam and the Eve, and there's a huge statue of them in the halls of learning as you walk through the foyer, in the halls of learning where all your guides are, and Archangel Metatron. I need to draw a mind map, actually. I need to draw a map of heaven. I might actually do that in the next GSIC. Anyway, so I saw the two figures, the two human figures, and then I saw like the Kundalini line and all this glittering energy go into each body. And I was actually shown this 14 years ago. This is in Earthwalkers 2, which will be out soon. And they showed me the beginnings of how we started walking on the planet with a consciousness and a direct link to the source. Right, we didn't have it before. We were pretty much like animal energy. Not even the animals that have evolved now, but we were very much here to just procreate, eat, survive, sleep. Do you know what I mean? And then the consciousness came in. And so we had a direct link to source, the divine, angelic realms, star people, and a lot of that, a lot of the Kundalini line DNA is Anunnaki. So it was a joint venture between our star nations and angels and the spirit world. It was all a divine multi group that created the consciousness and the life of the soul that was put into human beings. Right, so we had a direct link then. We could telepathically connect with each other. We could hear and connect with frequencies of the plants, other animals. We could see and connect with star people because they were around a lot then. The Anunnaki obviously were wandering around with other starseed nations. We literally took it for granted that we could manipulate things with our mind. We could create matter with our mind because we knew that that matter wasn't really a solid, viable object. It was something that we could manipulate or perceive as being there. Don't want to get too deep on that. And we could connect with source and be guided and you know, ask, well, how do we keep warm? Well, this is a more effective way. Let us show you, you know. And we literally didn't think about, like, you know, what shall I buy next on Amazon, or what night trainers shall I wear? Does my bum look big in this? And does he love me better than her? There was no ego. There was no need for control, hierarchy, fencing animals in, fencing, owning land, owning energy, owning space. There was none of that. None of that at all. However, what's developed over the eons of time is an ego structure. Perhaps we could call it an element of free will that allowed us to investigate and understand emotions such as jealousy, greed, hate. Love obviously was part of it. It was just unspoken that was part of our energy then. Namaste, the respect of each other's souls and the animals, all the rest of it. But over time there were hierarchies. There were people decided to take control, and obviously source and all of our other benevolence that look out for us are like, oh, this is getting a bit too dodgy. And there was at one point a flooding of the planet because it was all just going a bit wrong. And this is where we find ourselves now. And this incredibly is what Earthwalkers is all about. And I thought it was just a download and half dream. And I wrote it in a book of fantasy and it's actually happening. But anyway, so that's the basis of where we come from. This consciousness was put into us at the Adam and Eve time. The apple represents a pineal gland. The snake around the tree of life represents our Kundalini, our life force, a line that goes from the pineal gland all the way down to our base chakra. It is our life essence, basically. And we could move that consciousness. We could put it into avatars. We could do all sorts of things back then with the assistance of our star friends. The technology was growing, but then everything went a bit wrong with ego. Then we started hunting out and wanting to kill the ones that had this starseed knowledge, the hybrids, and it all just got really wrong. Without boring you too much, free will has gone so wrong and has been so abundant in creating negative ego structures that now we're in the time we find ourselves now, where we're going to establish balance. So the option is, and this is what happens in Earthwalkers, my books, is the option is either to just take them all out again, or bring in the new generations that will change the balance of this. Bring in a rushed up version of the 5D consciousness, so that we can start seeing the truth and start aligning ourselves as a collective to not putting up with what's happening by the powerful elite and the government structures that are in place at the moment. And so, as you can see, the rebellion energy, which I picked up on in my last prediction video with the black obsidian mirror, it's all, there's two ways you can do it. You can catastrophize it and say, oh my God, the world's going to shit. Or you can say, brilliant, this is what needs to be done to sort the wheat from the chaff and get the proper leaders in place and start getting the people who are awake in places of power, so that it's done morally, naturally, in balance, no ego. This is what we're aiming for. Sorry that the camera's rocking. Me is playing with her teddy and it's rocking the camera. I'm so professional, aren't I? I'm in my Winnie the Pooh PJs. Yes, I am. And I'm sitting here, but who cares? So that's the beginnings of us and where we are now, in a very short, well, it weren't that short, but a very short and sweet version. Now, when we had our implementation of our soul and consciousness placed into a human form, there were various, we spoke about DNA structures, which are Anunnaki, but then we started to pick up data. This is the easiest way of saying it. Pick up data from our experiences. So when we went back home, there was this collective consciousness that would register, and this is in the Akashic records, that Metatron oversees that frequency, right? We were feeding back various frequencies. Thank you. This is where we now go into Ariel. We were feeding back frequencies, experiences, and extra alignments with different frequencies whilst on the earth in that gravitational pull that we fed back, and we started to identify various memories and soul patterns from that life. So for instance, if you were in ancient Egypt, you would go back and you would feed back into the source, the collective. Wow, the imagery of cats is really powerful this time round. The sun deities, as we see them, Ra, and all of the different gods are perceived as being very important, and this has kept structure for this time because we've observed that. And they're like, wow, that's interesting. And then when we've implemented fairy folk into the ether, right, the little fairy folk, and then people that have asked to go into that and be a fairy, take it or leave it, it's true. Listen to all the fae that are out there, they'll tell you. And you experience everything from an elemental point of view, where everything's bigger and humans are like dickheads, really. And you're protecting the land, and the sprites are looking after the trees and the land, and then you're connecting with Ariel and Gaia, right? And then perhaps you decided to go up to your home planet because, the Anunnaki, the DNA strand in you, gave you the option of going to another planet. So you went to another planet, and perhaps, you went to, I don't know, wherever. I don't know a lot about the planets, as you know. Sirius B, I've heard a lot, or whatever, I don't know. Or you decided to have an incarnation in the continent of Lemuria, or, Atlantis. Right, so all of this stuff is fed back into this giant brain, if you like, this giant consciousness, and it's marked in your soul cluster, your soul family, that reincarnate all together. Okay, depends. You don't reincarnate straight away. Normally you have a few generations where you don't know your family, so you can reincarnate and it doesn't create problems. However, your animals can reincarnate into another avatar in the same timeline on this earth plane. So you could have a dog that you had 10 years ago reincarnate into a puppy you've just got, okay? So that, from what I can see. So what happens is all these imprints of what you've experienced and all the things that made your soul sing over the hundreds of thousands of years that you've been about, right? You've held those and they go into your soul cluster bank, right? And so what happens is that when you have got an incarnation and you go and see Metatron and you sit in the frequency of your spirit guide, so mine would be Juliana's, Catherine and Khan, right? And you say, right, what do you want to experience this time round? What do you want to evolve in? What would you really like to, what do you crave? What would you really like to experience this time round? And this is what people can't get their heads around, because you are an infinite being of light, sound, sentience, frequency, colour. That's what you actually are, right? What marks your soul is all of the incarnations you've had. What shapes your personality is all of the incarnations you've had. And then it's up to you to balance that ecosystem where you're down here, because you need that to navigate other humans that are at different stages of their soul growth. So you could have someone that's a complete a-hole and you're an older soul. You're like, oh, they're younger. I need to send them love, light, benevolence, forgiveness, and they could be roaring at you and attacking you like, yeah, whatever. Okay, so you come down here with an itinerary of skills and spiritual tools, right? So when you are picking what challenges you need, you then implement, you go into your Akashic record of your own existence, and you say, do you know what? I'm going to need to feel main fractals of the main itinerary, the main tools I want to put on my tool belt, right, are this, because I'm going to need this. So there's a part of me which remembers me being an elemental, connecting with the earth, with animals. You know, this is why I've always, since a kid, fantasized about Narnia. You keep, you know, hearing me mention it. I've fantasized. The amount of times I read The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe and all of the following books, I cannot tell you. I was obsessed with it. And I would literally go to every wardrobe that I found to see if I could walk through the back of it. It's just insane, right? So I knew that I needed part of my soul memory that I'd notched up in a previous existence to help me and get the comfort and strength I needed through animals, because I had picked a particularly fluffed up existence with love, family, friendships. Even though my friends are perfect now, I picked up a really stupid, fluffed up version of family, and all of them are gone, basically. Nearly all of them are gone. And so I wanted to implement into this lifetime, I need animals and nature to be my strength. So they said, that's great. So for you to resonate with that, get comfort with it, and bring and give you strength to keep you going, we're going to put part of your fractal energy of you being a fairy, if you like, or an elemental into your soul. What else do you need? Well, as I'm going to be an ambassador, this is all for instances. So you look, do yourself some homework. You look at what you need and want, and what you've gone through, and what you feel attracted to, what you love and like. And they're all of these little gifts that have been given to you to help you navigate through what you chose up there that's an absolute bitch down here, right? So I said, well, I'm going to be an ambassador again. Apparently I've done this many, many lifetimes. I've seen all my lifetimes. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So I said, right, well, I'm going to be working a lot in the angel frequency, aren't I? I'm going to literally show people how I'm going to work in the angel frequency, and how I work with angels, and how you can allow them into your lives like we used to millions of years ago We used to just go, oh, hello, Gabriel, can you just do this? It was natural, but ego blocked that out. And society and religion told us, no, that's wrong. And so now we're lost and we're being found again. We're waking up again to what we used to be before all the other crap came in, right? So basically I said, right, so I need like earth angel energy. I need that. Now there are different soul groups, different soul experiences. And even though she's gone to the dark side, Doreen Virtue did a book called Earth Angels. I tell you now, I must have given out this book 12 times. And I never got it back. I've just bought it again. It's 99p on Amazon, Earth Angels. This is it. Earth Angels. Right? So in here, there are soul groups that she identified of all different people that came to her workshops. Exactly the same thing happened to me, where I started seeing attributes, personality traits, the appearance of people. And they used to come and say, I feel like I used to be a fairy. I'm like, that's weird. When it first happened, I'm like, whatever. And then after a while, I started seeing they all looked the same, or they acted the same. They wore the same things, same piercings, same hair colours. And I'm like, that's weird. Then people come and say, I've got this massive connection to want to heal people, look after people, matriarchal, but there's an angel energy. It's like Earth Angel. Then there's people said, I love Merlin. I love like King Arthur. I love all of the stories of that. I'm into alchemy, herbalism. I'm obsessed with it. Star person, magic person. And so, or a wise one. And then people saying, I've come from a different planet. Yep, you're a star person. They're all tall and big brown eyes, some of them. Depends what planet you come from. So someone said to me, after about 4 or 5 years, I used to do experiments, right, where I used to, and some of you who are in the tribe may have been there at Lupton in Devon, when I basically set up all the different islands of soul groups. So I did one for fairies, one for star people, one for wise ones, one for earth angels, and I did all the things I know that you would be attracted to, right? And then I wrote down everybody's name, who I knew what soul group they were in, and then I said, right, come into the room. They come into the room. I said, right, wherever you feel attracted, that where you need to go. Right, and I was 100% correct. They all went to the island that absolutely sang to their soul. You know, and it's really easy because you will, if you look around, you'll have visual reminders. That's why I have crystals everywhere. Gaia, again, that's part of being elemental. Fairies, elemental. Angels. And then, this is the next bit I'll go into. So this book, it's like there's got high priestesses, sorceresses, wizards, shamans, you know, there's mermaids, there's everything. This is, and when you read it, right, it asks you to tick the attributes, and then you find out what your soul group is. I should get commission for this. Not for her, though. Not being rude, but what she did, I think, was unspeakable. But it's another subject, right? So that will help you understand. So a few years later, when someone, after I did this, someone said, oh, have you read Earth Angels? I went, no. So I said, what, you don't know about the soul group? No. They said, you need to get this book. She said, this is exactly what you've just done in this workshop. I said, is it? And I'm like, oh, bugger, someone's done it before me. Well, she hadn't done this, but it's what I decided to do. It's what they told me to do. And I read it. I thought, oh, my goodness, shut the front door. This is literally what I've been shown over the last few years. People coming to me with the same attributes, personality, ego structures, because they've come from these soul groups. So I asked for Earth Angel to come in because that helps me with the angel frequency. Now, I've seen many of my lifetimes, right? Some of them I haven't chosen to be relevant to help me get through. For instance, 100% I know that I was in ancient Egypt. There is absolutely no doubt about it. I've been there about 10 times, 11 times, albeit a lot of that was diving, but being at the pyramids, and it was just like being home. It was just like being home. I know it like the back of my hand. But I know that I didn't need that experience put into my soul to navigate this one for some reason. So I love it, and I know I've been there, but there's nothing here of Egyptian origin to remind me that I need that strength to get through this incarnation. I definitely know I was a Tibetan monk once, and I know I was a Buddhist monk as well. But again, I've had brief reminders of them because I have Buddhas. I adore Buddhas. I've got them everywhere as well. However, I think it's more about the tranquility, the mindfulness, the need to sit and gauge one's energy. And so I feel like I've asked for that because I knew I'd have a lot of mental health issues going through the trauma I've been through. So I know that that's there as well. So if I had to put a tag on it, which I don't like doing, but for the benefit of what I'm trying to get across, I am an earth angel crossed with an elemental. And I've needed those two previous incarnation, the knowledge, the information that I got for my soul cluster and for my own soul purpose from those incarnations have been brought back in. Now, what can happen then is, so they're intrinsically there. Then there'll be the dormant ones. So there was a dormant one of me, and Darren used to say in the morning, God, you had one of your dreams again, didn't you, where you're fighting in the sea? I'm like, did I? He goes, yeah, you were screaming and hollering and shouting at other mermen and God knows what. And he used to say, bloody hell, seriously. And he said, I'd love to be in your dreams. So then I had this dormant fate, this dormant one, which was, I've been dreaming since I was a kid of me being a merwoman and fighting in these colony wars. And even though it was underwater, there was segments and different beings there, but it wasn't in the water, but the water was around us. So I don't know if it was I could breathe in the water, or there were crystalline structures that were so thin that you could have the water surrounding you. This is most probably why I'm absolutely obsessed with the sea, despite losing Darren in it, right? I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with mermaids. That's why I've got a big giant mermaid on my arm. I'm obsessed with underwater. I've been scuba diving most of my adult life. I don't think I'll ever be able to do it again. Don't know if I'm fit enough, which breaks my heart, but I am obsessed with it. And I just thought it was a passion. And I just laugh. I used to laugh at these dreams, the symbols I used to see, the trident symbols. And then, boom, my first G-Sick, I saw the Atlantean symbol, and it suddenly kicked off a plethora of memories, thoughts, emotions. And I needed to be awakened to that to then lead to where I am now. And so it's for me to open up to other star systems and obviously our lost continents. So now, if I haven't got Lemurian, I've got two Lemurian crystals pointing right at me now, right next to me. Lemurian crystal to me, I've got Lemurian crystals on here, aquatine. I've got the all blue aquatine and the aquatine calcite. I have to have Lemurian energy on me all the time. And I know that it's now helping me to reach out to other dimensions, to bring them in, to then bring messages from them and to help you, the Starseeds and Lemurian and Atlantean beginnings. And so they've opened that energy up. So that's a kind of dormant situation that then awakens 3 years ago, or was it 2 years ago, to help me then connect with other dimensions, because I purely was spirit world. Then suddenly I was angels. Then suddenly I was a portal medium reading the energy of the planet. And now they've introduced this lovely little puppy, which is the Lemurians and the Atlanteans. You know, and the star systems that come in, the different beings that come in. I don't quite know who they are, but I love it. And so they needed to awaken that part of my soul for this next journey. So I would have planned up there, right, this is what's going to happen. Wake me up in 2023 or whenever it was, 2024. I can't remember now what day it was, when I was in Florida at GSIC. And then I can start working with the other dimensions, because by then I would have, you know, got totally comfortable with working the angel frequency, the portal frequency, the spirit world, guides, all the rest of that, smashed it, then bring that into me, and then I'll be ready to rock with star systems and lost water continents, la 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 la. Because obviously I'll be aligning to the crystals because of the elemental part of the fractal in my soul. And then that'll help me to bring in Lemuria. It'll help me to bring in meteorite energy, help me to bring in all of the different planetary stones, apart from Moldavite. Can't do that. So bring it to me. Bring in the whole of the high court energy. And the high court energy, I used to go to it again since I was a kid. There'll be all these different star beings. There will be angels. There'll be some, I just still don't know who he is. He looks like wild. He looks like an old sun god or something, but he's there. I used to walk in, and it was the high council, the collective of the source of the whole of consciousness that connects us all together as one. And there's a sentience. It's almost like AI. They've grown, they've learned, and they communicate, and they bring various frequencies that are needed for each planet to thrive in, or they bring in frequencies to realign or rebalance a planet. That's how they do it. And because they're not physical, in essence, that we can't physically touch them and see them in that way, we think, how does this all work? It's quite simple, because how I'm speaking and communicating with you, what I'm doing at the moment is just vibration, sound, light, and frequency. That's how I'm communicating with you now. The fact is that down here, we need to focus on something that looks like on an avatar. But really, the whole essence of us and our whole history of our being is who we are. The meat suit is just chucked on so that we can walk around the atmosphere. It's like, you know, if we go up to Mars, we'd most probably have to get some sort of suit on, unless our consciousness could shift into a Mars being avatar, which it can do. They know how to move our consciousness. As I've said to you, Tony Rodriguez, right? If you read his book, Ceres Colony Cavalier, it is just mind-blowing. And it's backing up exactly what I've been telling you since year dot. So I read that. I nearly finished it. It's just mind-blowing. And I'm like, well, that's what I've been seeing this whole time. It's incredible how people can come from different sources of existence, experience, but we've seen the same story. Same with JP. I've told him about a planet I was on where I went to the pods and I saw this, I saw that. He goes, yeah, I've seen that. Did it have this? Yeah. It doesn't matter who you speak to. We're all aligning, irrespective of the source of where we get our information from. We are all aligning, and we're all communicating, and we're all connecting in different departments, but under the same roof. And all our energy is burning through the same chimney out to the ether. Good analogy. I quite like that one. And so Ariel started saying, you know, this is what we want you. This is what we want you to understand. I thought, hang on a minute. This is like too good for me to just take in if I forget it. Do you know what I mean? I need to take on board what you're saying. Now, a lot of you would have had the elemental fractal of your soul cluster being put into your soul alignment for this incarnation, because the planet's in crisis. Animals are in crisis. And so a lot of you would have elemental energy within you. And it is incredible how I know that I'm Earth Angel and Elemental, and I ticked every single box, and all the others I hardly did. So when you tick the boxes, you'll find out. Let me just read some of this. This is one of the easiest groups to recognise. This is the Elementals, incarnated Elementals, right? Among the 5 categories. Like the incarnated angels, not so much Archangel, but on the frequency. Incarnated elementals physically look like their namesakes. That is fairies, elves, pixies, gnomes, leprechauns, mermaids, dolphins, incarnated animals, and unicorns. Besides the guardian angels that we all have, this group has fairies as their protective spirits. Very often, members of this group have reddish hair, whether it is full-on red, auburn or strawberry blonde, and a Celtic heritage or appearance, such as a ruddy complexion or freckles. Perhaps you saw yourself in the previous chapter about, oh, that's incarnated angels. So how do I feel about rules? If you're an incarnated angel, you usually obey rules and get angry at people who break them. However, if you're an incarnated elemental, then you can't stand rules and think that people who abide by them are wimps. So it isn't just ginger or you know, redheads. There are dark heads because you've got the Celtic vibe going on. So we've got the dark hair, the dark eyes, but they've normally got really small features, really bright blue or green eyes. So I've noticed that there's a bit more difference to what she says about how an elemental looks. You love piercings, love dyeing your hair, love tattoos, colour, some of you. It depends how minxy you are and what else you're integrated with, what soul fractals you've picked for this life round, right? Is there mischief in my eyes? Elementals are fun-loving beings, often practical jokers, and are always looking for a laugh. So that's the elemental part of me, right? If you wonder whether you're an angel or an elemental, ask a close friend if you have Here Comes Trouble eyes. That's me, Danny Henderson. This is a characteristic unique to elementals. What type of wings do I have? Angels have feather wings, while many elementals have butterfly or dragonfly wings. Mine's dragonfly. I'm obsessed with dragonfly and wings and angel wings, right? So the only exceptions are incarnated merangels, who are half angels and half mermaids. Well, I've got a bit of mermaid in me as well, and also incarnated unicorns sometimes have feathered bird-like wings. So this is the wing type that you go through. We've done that. So other distinguishing characteristics, right? Relationship issues. The elementals were tired of humans' assault on nature, animals and the environment. They couldn't make headway as tiny spiritual beings, so they decided to take on a human life and body to have more power and say so in clearing Earth's air, water and soil and helping the animals. Truth be told, elementals prefer the company of animals or plants to people. They hold an innate anger towards the human race for hurting the planet. Spiritual elementals are said to be vicious pranksters, but they're only mischievous towards humans who show disrespect for the environment. On the other hand, they love to help humans who recycle, use earth-friendly cleaning products, treat animals kindly and respect Mother Nature. Which is so me. In relationships, romantic partners are attracted to incarnated elementals because of their comedic, musical or artistic skills. But after the relationship begins, incarnated elementals may be accused of being bratty, immature, non-committal or stubborn. If they say that to you, you're just going to kick them straight out, aren't you? So I don't want to bore you too much with this. Where is the ticky boxy thing? Manifestation and magic, complete belief and knowledge on how to manifest things, all of their needs. They like tending to flowers, having plants in their house. They know hard work isn't unnecessary in order to create meaningful results. Intention and sincerity are more important. I thought there was like and there's all different people that actually recall their previous lives in here. It's a really good book. I just don't get why. Oh, I do know. It's because she obviously, well, you know what she did. So chapter 5, star people. So this is your ETs, your starseeds. Where is the list? I'm sure there's a list somewhere where you tick off the ticky boxes. I've seen it before. Oh, it's in there somewhere. Oh, here we go. So, what type of earth angel are you? I tend to easily put on extra weight, or I'm currently overweight. My past or current love partners are addicts or alcoholics. Tick. I rarely break a rule. Tick, only because I was a copper. I have a hard time saying no. Tick. How many of these? How many? Just see how many you do. I highlight, colour or bleach my hair. Tick. I prefer to help someone one-on-one rather than the group setting. No, that's not me. I like both. So there's some, and then you start working out who you are. Truth be told, I like animals or plants much better than I like people. I have Celtic origins, or I look Celtic. That is, I have a reddish tint in my hair, freckles, or ruddy complexion. I constantly play practical jokes. I'm quite the mischief maker and seem to have a persistent twinkle in my eyes. I'm fiercely independent and don't like following rules or authority. My finances seem to be either feast or famine. I don't like being the centre of attention. That is certainly not me. And I'm usually a wallflower at social functions. I've always believed in or have been interested in ETs or UFOs. I'm compulsively thoughtful towards people, whether they express appreciation or not. I conduct Reiki or other forms of energy or hands-on healing. My life's mission is more important than getting married and having children. Yeah. I really would like to go home now because I know that Earth isn't my home. I had a life-changing experience, such as a serious accident or near-death experience. In the past, I was so miserable that I wanted to die and seriously considered or attempted suicide. Honestly, this just sends chills down here, because what she's done is she's got what people have claimed in the past, and then you can identify your soul group. So the scoring will tell you what soul group you're in, right? I've changed my first name, or I'm strongly considering doing so. Just name doesn't fit either, human name. My friends and family remark, you're different now. There's something about you that's not the same. That's when you wake up. I have made or am making drastic changes to many areas of my life simultaneously, such as moving, changing jobs and divorcing all at once. You just need to get out of it and change it because your soul's telling you. I have deep spiritual knowledge that didn't come from any books or teachers. Even though I know I'm different from other people, I still enjoy the company of others and get along pretty well with most people. I know that I have magical abilities which are untapped right now. I have strong past life memories or interests concerning Arthurian or Atlantean times. I believe that I was burned at the stake or killed in some other way during the witch hunts or inquisitions. No, I managed to avoid that one. I have studied tarot cards or astrology. I'm very drawn toward earth-based spirituality such as shamanism or full moon memories. So then on the scoring, she then works out what soul group you are. I really should get some commission for this, shouldn't I? Do you know what? I'll put the link to Amazon below, where I think I got it for 99p. I'll put it in the description box, okay? But this is, I absolutely love this book. And this is very, very rare, as you know, that I read a book. I've only agreed to do Tony's because I didn't think it would interfere with my connections. This is one of the very rare books I've read back in the day when I was like, I don't know, my 20s, 30s. It literally, because someone said, oh, you must have got that from the book Earth Angels. And I'm like, well worth a read. If only I respected the author. Never mind. So this is what, so Ariel kind of showed this to me earlier, and has been influencing what I say to you to help you understand why there are certain lifetimes that you have zoomed in on, because they're there to help you with the earth experiences you've chosen. Incredible, right? We tend to stay so linear. We tend to stay so much in this life, in this experience. We don't see the bigger picture. And it makes me smile when I talk about this, and there's so many in their hundreds go, I ain't coming back down. I'm not choosing to come back down. You're not seeing the bigger picture. You are literally doing a tiny little bit of existence of a lifetime of thousands or millions of years. Mine's definitely millions. I'm here from year dot. I know that. Which is fine. And it really helps me, because when I get one lump of shit hit me after the other, trauma, loss, pain, struggle, it's like, yeah, I go into the biggest wobble. And of course, because you've got your human reaction to things, you've got to honour that, like the grieving process with Darren, which is the last lump of shit. There must be more. But there comes a time where I reach out, reach up, reach within, and go back to source and know that this is just a tiny instance of pain and horror. That is not who I represent. I represent thousands and thousands of years of knowledge and bringing information, emotion, experience, humanity back to the source to feed into this huge sentient consciousness which anybody can plug into. So you are me, I am you. The only difference is that there are bunches of soul clusters that stick together with each incarnation to help us keep going. So not only do we have our soul itinerary, like mine is elemental, earth angel, bit of Buddhism, bit of mermaid, bit of dragonfly, right? But not only do we have that, we also then have other avatars that are part of our soul group that will come in at any given time, or they're members of our family, or they're our loved one for our whole life, whatever it may be, to help us tick off our boxes and in turn help them tick their boxes off as well. That's how it works. So a lot of you beautiful, diligent tribe people will be like making notes on this. Bless you. You must be watching about 3 or 4 times. But I promise you, no matter what you're going through, when you get to a stage of natural grief, movement, ability to just cope a bit more through whatever crap you're going through, reaching out, up and within is your key to surviving and thriving through trauma and pain and letdown, betrayal, hate, whatever it is you're going through that you're a victim of. Because let's face it, most empaths are. We're always a victim of some arsehole, aren't we? Narcissists are our like nemesis, our natural magnetic nemesis. We're yin, they're yang. They're literally, or we're yang, they're yin, whichever way around you find it. Narcissists find and seek us out, and so do addicts. They feed off us. They are the vampires of the spirit world. They love us because we'll put up with anything. We've got no boundaries. We're so full of love because we come down like that, because we remember our source. But then things start to happen and we see it as a weakness that we love and we want to care, we want to heal everybody, make everything better on the planet. But they see it. Boom. There's my prey. There's one that will take almost anything I'll give them. And then I'll gaslight them and make them feel like, you know, it's all their fault. Taken me years to get to the stage where I just think, do you know what, fluff you now. And do you know that mug, we're getting it made. Do you know what, that mug that, oh my goodness, what is your name? I can't remember your name. It is one of the best gifts I've ever been given. A wise lady once said, F this shit, fluff this shit. And she lived happily ever after. Oh my God, that's where I am now. But my God, most of my life, as you'll know, through me, myself and I. And rise and fall. It's only my road accident, which was horrific. I lost everything. If you look it on the material element and the emotional and the ego element, my whole life was decimated in one tiny incident of some silly cow smashing into me, right? Best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah, even though I'm sitting here like an 80-year-old, 90-year-old, best thing that ever happened for me emotionally and mentally, getting me sorted. But I won't take it anymore. Don't take it anymore. Get your boundaries in play. Have a look at what you're attracted to, what feeds your soul, what part of the fractals from your thousands of bloody years of existence have come into play to assist you in this lifetime. Look at what you love, what you're passionate for, which you just simply can't stop doing. I should be sitting here chilling out, doing one of my jigsaws, watching some film, obviously not Bridget Jones' latest film, no. But I can't. The first thing I thought was when I started hearing her. She's still in my ear now. When I first started hearing her, I'm like, I've got to tell the tribe this. I'm not going to write it out. It's too long. She's shown me so much I need to tell them straight away. And my throat is sore. I'm exhausted. I can just about sit up. I don't care. As long as my soul's still working. My sentience is still working. My consciousness is still working. My mouth's still working. Throat chakra's a bit croaky. But do you know what? I'm still doing it. And I'm sharing it. Look at what Metatron and your guides and you have decided to implement into your life. So for instance, if you're at a crossroads, you think, what the hell am I going to do? I don't know what I'm doing. And then you're looking around, right? And your house looks like bloody Vogue and, you know, housekeeping, hybrid. And you've made things because you've got an elemental energy or magical energy where you've created things, made things, craft, skills, and you're sitting there going, oh, I don't know what to do. And it's sitting right in front of your face. That the reason why you've had these two soul incarnations infrastructured into this lifetime is because you are going to start creating craft and you're going to start making crystal jewelry and you're going to sell it, and that is going to be your new income, your way of being, and you're going to bring a smile and a resonance of raised energy to all the people you sell to because of what you've done, because of your natural talent. Just sit, write it out. Or just grab this, as I say, I'll put the link in the description box, right? Just tick off, find out who you are. Do you love magic? Merlin, I do love that. And I absolutely know that I had an incarnation around there. Glastonbury, I'm obsessed with the Isle of Avalon. The magic, the druidism, paganism, that's where we all come from at the end of the day. I remember it all. I remember the sun deities. I remember the magic of the pentagram. And, you know, the tree of life. I remember it all. It's all sitting there intrinsically creating this wonderful, vibrant, beautiful, all-knowing soul. And then ego smashes it down. Government, religion, society smashes it down. And part of this awakening is smashing down what they've created, what they've told us and what they've cubed us into, and saying no more. I am hundreds of thousands of years old. I am all-knowing. I can connect with anything in the universe. Stop telling me who I am and what I should be doing. Stop trying to control me, corner me, cube me in. That's what they're trying to do, because the power of us has gone on since year dot. The power of spirituality, consciousness, awareness will blow away anything on this planet. Sorry, you're charging for energy. Well, we know how to harness it for free. Why are you charging for it? It'll be air next. It'll be oxygen next. You know, you're telling us that this land is yours. No, it's not. It's everybody's. It's Gaia's. It's this, it's that. You're telling us that we're supposed to slaughter any animals. No, we're not. You know, whatever concepts that we've been put into as the norm are going to be refigured. They're going to be reshaped. You will not recognise this place. I've seen snippets of it 50 years' time. It's a very different space. We won't be eating animals, I'll tell you that now. Most probably, once our consciousness raises to where it's supposed to be, the skin that we're covered in will be a matter of fact, but it won't be our be-all and end-all. At the moment, our skin, our body, our lives, our emotions is more real than our consciousness and our evolved souls. But it'll be the other way round. We might not even need food. We might need some form of energy to feed us. I'm getting a bit too deep now, but you need to look at who you really are. Most of the planet does not know who they really are, and that is why, you know, things like GSIC and all of these wonderful events that take place are to try and remind you, to wake you up and tell you who you really are, because everybody's forgotten. Not everybody, the sheep will have. And this is why we're entering into, I predicted it for ages, the age of rebellion, the age of change, the age of no more. Because people are seeing the truth of our existence. They are seeing the truth that we have got everything we need to heal on this planet. But then the big pharma take it away from us, and then they charge us for it, and then they add stuff into it so that we're addicted to it, and they'll do this and we'll do that. But once we learn the truth of our origin, well, we don't need that, because I just feel like if I go and get, I don't know, banana palm, silver birch and daisy, I actually can do that cure. Do you know what I mean? Look at all of the beautiful witches that knew how to heal us and came up with all these tinctures and medications through their herbs and flowers. What should we do then? I tell you what, we're going to drown them and burn them. Mass genocide. Mass genocide. Matthew Hopkins, one of the biggest serial killers on the planet. But is he deemed that? Is he in the same books as Ted Bundy and all the rest of them? I don't see his face next to Jeffrey Dahmer, do you? Because they were witches, you know. Got to get rid of them. They were midwives. They were medicine women. They were our doctors. But they were creating healing and medication for free, and that's not allowed. So let's burn them. Even look in the Bible. Mediums should be stoned. Children of those of the occult shall be cast into the fire. But the Bible says, burn children alive that connect with the occult. Stone people to death if they're spiritual. I could go on. This was part of my GSIC presentation. Oh yeah. Don't throw the Bible at me, because I'll throw it right back at you. So anyway, I know it's a bit different from what I normally do, but it takes a lot of energy. When I did the black obsidian, that mirror is just insane. I'm loving it. I slept for about 3 hours afterwards, but just talking is still using up energy. But it's not as bad as linking up, and I know that they didn't let me work very well then. They're like holding me back. I can feel it. I know my guides, I know my angels, I know, and I'm so bloody grateful. I know them and feel them, and I know when I've got to shut up and when I've got to do stuff and when I haven't. Part of the elemental in me. Laughter, mucking about, the light side of things. It wouldn't be me, would it, just to sit here and go, and then what happened is that Adam and Eve had a consciousness placed into the... Shut up, you got to have a bit of a laugh. And it makes my heart sing when you say, you just bring joy to me and I smile every time I see you. Thank you. So, darlings, I'm going to leave it there. I really hope that this has brought so much strength, knowledge, enlightenment to you, because that's what it's intended as. So me and Winnie the Pooh want to thank Thank you for coming here today. We're very, very happy. We're going to have some honey now. Yeah, I just wanted to share it. There's a lot of confusion with it all, and people talking about incarnation and why have I chosen this, and I'd never choose this, I'd never come back here. Have a little think. Look at what's around you, because a lot of it will be what your soul needs to feel at home. I'm looking straight at a unicorn right now, so I know there's a mixture of magic in me as well, but that's elemental, isn't it? Got crystals, fairy, Buddha, shells, unicorn, mermaid tail, fish. That's without me not even moving. Look at what you've created in your little soul nests. It will tell you a lot about what you wear, what colours you wear, what jewellery you wear, how you wear your hair, what colour your rooms are. Have a look. And I know I've said it before, and I said it to Danny the other day actually, because I had to go for an appointment, and we went into Primark, and I dragged myself around for a maximum of 10 minutes, and then I thought I'm going to collapse. So she had to come and pick me up. And there's so many bright colours there, and all I go is for the bright colours. Mind you, I did get green this time. Yeah, I did get green. Loved the green. And she always loves cream and black, Danny, and I just call her like the ice maiden of darkness, right? It's all she wears is white, cream and black, bless her. That's all. And I said to her the other day, in the police, all I wore was navy, grey and black. That was it. If you looked in my wardrobe, and obviously blouses underneath, like pastels or white, that was it. If you look in my wardrobe now, it's like an explosion of Skittles and rainbows. I have to have colour now. I love colour. And that's because my soul suddenly soared from, don't get me wrong, I adored being a detective, but suddenly it was like, I couldn't exactly walk into a bleeding interview with a murderer wearing a bright pink suit, could I? But now it's just gone boom. You want to see what I bought from Glastonbury? Oh my goodness, it is so. I walked, went, shut the front door. It literally, I walked into St John's Church at Glastonbury, and right in front of me, it was like Archangel Ariel, and just put it straight there for me, and Archangel Ariel. It was like, Nicky, you've come into the market because we've done it just for you. You wait till you see what I'm wearing at the MBS workshop. Oh my, it is like absolutely so me. It couldn't be more perfect if you tried. I adore it. I'm trying not to wear it on camera at the moment, but it is so perfect for me. Look at everything that surrounds you. It will tell you a lot about your soul and your soul mission and what your path is here. That is your homework. Go look. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening, even when I'm sitting in my PJs. I love you for accepting me, warts and all. I really, really do. Go and check out what your soul's telling you. Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to hear your experiences and how you resonate with what I've just said. God bless you. I'll speak to you again soon.